هلا بالجميع. Thank you for attending. We're going to speak today about creativity in the sense of creativity in the media and art, the use of imagination or original ideas to create something. My name is Yasir Alsaggaf, and I'm hosting Eddy Maroun, the co-founder and CEO of Anghami, one of the most amazing platforms. I've started with Anghami since its the beginning until today. So very proud to be here and actually having this conversation with Eddy. Welcome, Eddy, and I want to ask you a question. Let's start this panel with the question: is creativity limited to media and art? That's first.
First of all, creativity as an industry is way wider than just the way we think of it as in media and,
Yeah.
and art, as you mentioned. So, first of all, it can be in every business, in every company, even. So, you can be creative in technology, in politics, in medical, and going down to media, of course, and anything that requires art the way we know it.
Yeah.
So that's a kind of a misconception about creativity as being related to anything related to art. It's way beyond. It goes to problem solving and finding new ideas and how to create new opportunities. So it's all around creativity.
Okay, we're going to jump from one point to another. We have only 10 minutes to speak to you, Eddy, but I think firms are keen to encourage creativity in every sector.
Absolutely.
Is that correct? In our field of creativity, let's say creativity is in media and art is the big part of it.
Absolutely.
When does it make sense? When does creativity make sense?
Absolutely. So anyone can be creative and come up with ideas. Like startups can be like about ideas, about coming up with new things. But when creativity is really valuable is when it's creating value, when it has a business model, when it's making an impact. So for example, you can take even inventions as creativity, as being creative, but the inventions that are really important are the ones that made a difference and created value in our lives. For example, if you can take the iPhone, right, or maybe Picasso can be someone who invented, but something that has value is considered as a good creative art.
What about at the level of startups? How can this be reflected in startups?
That's, I think, at the core of startups. Startups can be, of course, startups are about creativity, but they always create something new. But the ones that last are the ones that really have a business model that can create value.
How big is the media and art sector? Let's speak in general,
So
globally.
globally, it's a $2 trillion industry. More than 60 million, jobs are created around media. However, if we zoom into MENA, Middle East, you see that it's a $5 billion industry, talking about media and whatever related to art within it, because this is how we can quantify it. And if we look at how much money is being preserved in the region, it's very little, unfortunately. More than 75% is going to the big tech companies in the world. However, 25% is remaining in the region, and this is somehow alarming. This is something that is not really good, to be honest.
In media and art, does that tell creators that they can make more money?
This is money that could be circulating within the industry,
And it's
the
not
industry
happening?
can be bigger.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, now it's all going away to California.
And do you think there is a reason for that, or is that?
I believe that the nature of media and art is going digital, and the big platforms are having the lion's share on the media. However, I believe that regulatory here should have a much bigger role into containing and maintaining this value within the region, within the country, because if things remain as they are, I think there's a big loss of opportunities and an industry that's going to struggle.
Okay. Let's speak more specifically about Anghami. From a music platform to a complete entertainment platform
Yep.
today, how is Anghami being creative?
First of all, Anghami, as you mentioned, started as a music streaming platform,
And you are a co-founder.
absolutely,
Yeah.
and we were just getting the music and making sure that it plays. And we started to, also get creative and try to offer more to our users and build more value in the way the music is consumed, the way it's recommended, until we started creating music ourselves, given, the amount of data, the network we have. So we started to create content. So we have, studios, we have Anghami Originals. Even recently, We transformed the company from being just a music streaming platform to more of an entertainment platform. We created the record label with Sony Music, Vibe Music Arabia. We announced Anghami Lab, which is a venue that has a studio and a stage for artists. And I'm proud to announce that the first Anghami Lab is going to take part here in Riyadh a couple of weeks from now at the Boulevard. So we're very happy and excited about it. Thank you.
Nice. Amazing.
The goal of Anghami Lab is to really nurture local talent and give them a space and a chance to be offline, on space and digitally in Anghami. Also, we acquired an events and concerts company to give the artists and creators a stage for them to perform and be visible, not just digitally but also physically, and have a direct access to their fans and make more money. So these are extensions that require some sense of creativity, thinking outside of the box, and making sure that make financial sense and build value for all the stakeholders.
Amazing. And when I come to the subject in general, how do we create creators today in the Arab media world specifically?
Yeah, so by the way, I researched a little bit about creativity, and we always think that creative people are natively creative, which is very untrue. Creativity is something that we can learn, that we can nurture, and that we can practice. So you don't have to be born creative. Of course, you can have a certain talent, so you're born with a talent, but creativity is something that you can really nurture and exercise and grow in you. And of course, I believe that with practice, you learn a lot on how to think differently, how to try different things, how to really think outside of the box and come up with innovative ideas that can be very creative to take you from a level to another.
Amazing. You also spoke to me before we go on stage, and you read about the characteristics of a creative person.
Yeah, that's
what is the
interesting as
most
well.
important part of it?
So creative people are known to be smart, but can be a little bit naive, can be somehow taken as naive. They're kind and they're humble, yet
I'm very proud.
They're very proud of what they know and what they do. And they're very independent as a characteristic.
Amazing.
And they can be somehow not very disciplined.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, they can be scientific.
Good. Where does Anghami play a role when it comes to creating creators? Today, I know that you have a podcast, you have your own music, you have your own production, now you have your own lab.
Absolutely.
How do you play a role in that?
As a platform, put creators...
Giving back to society.
Absolutely.
Now.
As a platform, we put creators at the core, at the center of our work, because our job is to really build opportunities between those creators and their fans and their audiences. Brands who like to work with them. Anghami Studios is actually a platform that builds content between creators and brands who want to advertise, be it podcasts, be it songs, be it music clips. We also bring in telcos within this ecosystem, and of course the music industry is all evolving around this new model, which is the main revenue stream for the music industry. It went from being shrinking to now growing thanks to the streaming economy.
But do they have to be do they have to be creators in general for you to actually acquire their content, acquire their...
No, as I mentioned, creators can be music people, but can be also any kind of creators, such as podcast creators, for example. And we see the podcast industry is exploding here in the region, and there's a big appetite on it.
Is Anghami playing the role of being the middleman, where they connect fans with their...
Absolutely, we're the catalyst, we're this platform that bridging all of these industries together and bring value to each.
But do you create actual talent in Anghami, or do you plan to do that?
So that's part of our extensions, as I mentioned. This is why we created a music label, because a music label will, identify talent. We'll identify talents on the platform that have really amazing numbers, but they'll be nurtured under the labels, because this is, a music label, because it has the structure of growing talent and bringing them, building their careers. So each of these has its own, extension to make sure we're doing the right thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, co-founder and CEO of Anghami. Stay creative and stay well. This was Yasir Alsaggaf, your host. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Yasir.
Thank you, Eddy.
And he's a very creative person, if I can talk on your behalf.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.